Hey everybody, Knife Chats with Tobias here, and I gotta tell you, I've been preoccupied with a lot of non-knife stuff as of late and have fallen behind in content. And because of that, I thought I would ask for a guest reviewer of a knife. The particular one was the Rough Ryder Bullfrog. I have been wanting to do a review of this knife for a while, but just could not get to it because, well, like I said, I've been preoccupied with other things. And so I asked my good pal, Skip de Sheau, if he would review the knife for me. Now, Skip is not a knife guy, so bear with him with his review. Um, he told me ahead of time he was not a knife guy, but I thought he would be able to figure this out pretty easily. I gave him some basic information about the nice little flipper knife and turned it over to him and let him run with it. Um, and unfortunately, Skip is a one take guy. He does it once and he's done with it. He's not going to do it a second time, a third time. It's just not his nature. And so you get what you get with Skip. And I knew that going into it. So what I will do is I will make sure that in the slideshow that follows Skip's presentation, I will give you the specifications of this knife and I will compare it maybe in size to like a Dragonfly 2 or something like that, the Spyderco Dragonfly 2, because I really don't have a lot of modern folders or anything, but most people who have modern folders probably know about the Spyderco Dragonfly 2. So we'll compare this to that in the slideshow, which I'll put together after Skip's review. Uh, any fault you have, throw it my way. Don't pick on Skip. The guy's really trying to get his life back together, and he did the best he could. And like I said, he's a one-take kind of guy. If he doesn't get it right on the first take, that's life. Any case, enjoy the show. I mean, enjoy Skip de Sheau.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Skip de Sheau with that internet sensation, Skip de Sheau, who asks all those probing questions you never wanted to hear an answer to from people you never really cared about. It's Skip de Sheau. Welcome, boys and girls. It's Skip de Sheau time.
That's pretty good stuff. Hey, all you knife chatters out there, your old pal Skip de Sheau here. I got propositioned, I guess, by my pal Tobias from Knife Chats with Tobias. He said, hey, Skip, how about you reviewing a knife for me? And I thought, man, where have you been smoking? What do I know about knives that I could actually do a review of one? And he said, well, I thought maybe it would be interesting to get the perspective from somebody who doesn't know a lot about knives to take a look at this new knife I got and tell people what they thought about it. And I thought, well, if you really think that's a good idea, I guess I can get on that show and do it. And so he showed me this knife. It's a Rough Ryder Bullfrog. Man, my tattoo is fading. I gotta get that thing re-inked. Anyway, he showed me this Rough Ryder Bullfrog, and I thought, okay, I guess if you want me to review it, I'll review it. But I don't know what I'm going to be able to say about it. And then he said, well, whatever you do, keep it PG. And I was like, man, if it has anything to do with somebody being pregnant, it has nothing to do with me. And he's like, not that PG. And I was like, okay, I know. You're talking about no cussing, no swearing. And like, fine, I think I can do that and not swear for 5 or 10 minutes. So that's what's going to happen. I got to watch my language for a good 10 minutes while I talk about bullfrogs. And man, I could use a bullfrog right now because that rum just did not hit the spot. Any case, this is the knife he gave me. He said I could keep it after I do the review, and it's a Rough Ryder Bullfrog, and I saw it and it was like, man, that's a nice package. That's probably a pretty expensive knife he gave me. And I opened it up and I looked at it and I was like, well, that's kind of cute. I was like, yeah. And it's like, it's not like the usual knives he shows me, and it's like, that's pretty cool. And I opened it up and hey, it's one of them liner locks. I knew enough about knives to know what a liner lock was, but he said this is a flipper knife, and I had no idea what a flipper knife was. And so I closed it back up, and it's like, hey, that's kind of good. Yeah, it's got a nice, interesting blade, and I can hold it in the hand. It's a nice, big, fat grip. I can grip it real well, and my thumb just goes right in place up there, and I noticed I could actually push that liner lock across from my finger, and I could kind of close the blade all by itself, and I did that. And then there was this thing right up there, and I wasn't paying any attention, and I'm like, and man, the thing just jumped out at me, dropped it on the floor and everything. It was like, man, why didn't he warn me? And then I started thinking about it. It's like, oh, that's what he meant by flipper knife. That thing there on the back is a little flipper. I was thinking flipper like that dang dolphin from the 1960s, but no, that wasn't it. It's this little doohickey on the back of the blade there that when you push down on it, the blade just springs out like a switchblade. Now it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. And so for the next, I'd say, maybe 30, 40 minutes, that's all I was doing is like, wow, that's fun. I'm just like closing it, flipping it, and closing it, and flipping it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot easier to do when I wasn't like looking at it through the camera because, but wow. And I'm like in my office and I'm like, boom. And I'm like, boom. And I'm like, boom. And then one of the waitresses comes in and goes, what's going on, Skip? And it's like, oh, I was just playing with my knife here, and I like, boom! And then she pulls out some other knife, and she starts flipping it all over the place. I'm like, well, man, I guess I'm the only one in the world who doesn't know what a flipper knife was. And it's like, he could have at least warned me, and he could have told me how it opened and everything. But nope, just dumped the knife on me and didn't say anything about it. And then I'm like looking at it, and she shows me her knife, and I show her mine, and she goes, oh, that's a nice, cute little knife. And she goes, oh, you mean your clip here, I think she called it a pocket clip. He goes, your pocket clip, it's only one position. You can only have it one place. And she showed me this other knife. She goes, see here, mine has holes here, here, here. I can put that pocket clip in 4 different places. So I could have it tip up, tip down, or left or right hand carry. Yours is only right hand carry, tip down. And I'm like, okay. She knew more about it than I did. Now I'm just, thanks a lot, Tobias. You really embarrassed me here. My waitress knows more about knives than I do, but then she probably needs it more than I do. Anyway, she said that's a shame, but she said at least the good news is if you don't want that pocket clip on there at all, you can take it off. All you need is some kind of torque wrench or something like that, she said. So that was kind of nice to know that if I don't want that, I can take it off, but I can't move it anywhere. All I can do is take it off or take it on or put it on. And it's nice and solid, and I guess that right there is brass, and it's for that little hole there, and that's so you can pass like a string through it, so you can like tie a string to it and then hang it around your neck or something like that. But I don't know why you do that if you got a pocket clip, unless you take off the pocket clip, in which case you need to put a string through there so you can tie it around your neck or something. But anyway, what I liked about it was boom. It it just flips out there, and it flips really fast and really good, and I like it. And then I also like the way that blade looks, because it's two-toned. You got the black area here and black area there where it's like recessed a little bit. It's only recessed on this side though. On this, wish that was on both sides, that you had that recess with the little black area. I guess this is the front side and this is the back side, but this part of the blade is all black. And then this portion here, the shiny portion, that kind of looks like your disc brake when it's been all nicely polished up and everything. So it's nice, and see the lines through there and everything. I think they said it was a satin finish or something. You got that Rough Ryder there, and over here you got like a little number on there. I think that's the pattern number or something, and then it says it's made in China. And I think that's up here is like a place to put your finger. But you know what? I don't think I'm going to put my finger there. I don't trust it that close to that sharp blade there. Blade is supposed to be like a 440A or something like that. I don't know what that means, because all I do know is that it'll cut up a cardboard box, and it'll cut up some paper, and I used it to cut up a steak, and I was sitting there just cutting some cherries in half because I had nothing better to do. Ooh, I almost cut myself. See how that thing just pops? That's because it's got a spring in there, and it's like spring assisted. I did not know that at first. Found that out from my waitress too, that it's spring assisted. But it just pops because of that spring, and it's kind of cool. One thing I noticed is these handles, I heard they're G10. Well, I wish they were like G12 and covered everything, because this area up here is not covering, and this area here isn't covering. See, if we open the blade, you see this steel up here and this piece down here. Maybe if the handle was G12, it would have been covering the whole thing, but as it is, it's only covering whatever the G10 portion of the handle is. So I wish it was a G12 or G13, whatever it would take to cover the whole thing. But it's got these nice lines running through it, so it's nice and grippy and everything. And I just wish it covered all the metal there, and then was just kind of rounded off or something so it fit that handle better. But it's not bad. I mean, it still feels good when you're holding it. Feels nice and good in the hand. And then I heard, or I read that this blade, they call it something like a modified Warncliffe or something, and I don't know what that is. I guess it's a cliff that's been worn away, and so that's what's going on here. So you got this blade that's kind of dropping a little bit, and all of a sudden you get right down here at the end, and it's all worn away, and it just cliffs right off. So I guess that's what they mean by a Warncliffe blade, because instead of just going all the way out, this tip down here part is like worn off, so it's a Warncliffe. If I'm wrong on that, don't blame me. I mean, Tobias didn't explain anything about this knife to me, but that's what I think they mean by like a Warncliffe blade, that it just like a cliff and it just drops off at the end there. In any case, it's kind of cool, and I like this part here. The way it just like got that whoop, 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 and then whoop, whoop. Just fun. It's a fun looking knife. It feels good in the hand. I like it in either hand. It got that hole there. I don't know what that hole's for. I guess you could use it for drawing little triangles or something with a pencil. I might take off this clip here, but I like the way it says "R R." It's like a pirate doublespeak. R R. Yeah, but that's it. That's my look at it. It's a fun knife. It cuts stuff really good. And it's got a flipper. And it just flips. Yeah. It just flips. So there you have it. That's my look at the Bullfrog. Skip out.
Okay, thank you, Skip, and on to the slideshow.
Chats with Tobias. He's a great guy and a good friend. Skip out.